Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an advanced Dungeons and Dragons advice video on game setup. um, Before I get into this though, if you enjoy my content, it would really help me out if you could hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my content on all of your platforms, and post a comment or two. Remember, I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Especially those experienced game masters who have more information to share, or something that I forgot, or something even that you disagree with. There you go. Be sure and put that down there. If you enjoy a good book, check out my author page on Amazon.com. My pen name is H.L. Anderson. You can find all of my books there. Hope you find something that interests you, and I hope you enjoy reading them. The tabletop role-playing game Outlaw Trails that I talk about in a lot of my videos is due to be released soon. Our target date is March 1st. This way everybody can get it and everybody can play it and have fun. God bless you all. All right. One of the things many new dungeon masters find difficult is coordinating the game. This is true in any game, not just Dungeons and Dragons. There are a number of steps that I use to kind of coordinate things, and I figured I'd put them down here. And if you already know this, great. If not, hope it helps. First, every character's backstory prior to the game needs to be worked into the plot. This can be difficult, but it doesn't need to be. When the players submit their backstories, just tie one of your villains to each player's backstory. If a player decides that their character is an orphan, make one of your villains responsible for that. Or make the villain a bad guy who steals from or somehow oppresses the orphanage. Excuse me, if a character's noble parents were framed for crimes and the player character had to flee, make the villain the perp. These are just examples, of course, but you get the idea. In Outlaw Trails, Marauders work well for this. Similar groups can be used in other games. In Outlaw Trails, the Marauders are a loose association of bands of outlaws, and they are all over the Southwest. They work well for this kind of thing. Number 2, every character needs to be brought to the same place so that they can function as a party. This can be done in a number of ways. First, each character can be run separately on different threads of the tapestry of your plot so that eventually they intertwine into the weave of your game. This will require you to pair off with each of your players and run them individually. If you have players who want to run player characters with embedded connections, like for example best friends or with another player, or siblings with the player characters, etc., that simplifies your job. Whatever short storyline you can run them through, the ending of this should be getting them to meet other members of the party. Keep doing this until the entire group is together in the same place. These little storylines should be fun and exciting and should allow the player to become familiar with his or her new character. Another part of that is they might, if you can work it into where it has a bearing on the total overall plot line of the game, that's even better, but sometimes that's kind of tough to do. 3, there should be an underlying purpose to hold the group together. If they all want the bad guys dead, cool, but they have to have something positive as well. I try to give each player character some kind of a positive connection to at least 2 other player characters whenever possible. Friends and relatives is cool, but it's rare that happens organically. Most player characters, sometimes it happens, I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's rare that 2 players want their characters to be siblings or best friends or whatever. maybe the dwarven fighter sees a younger player character as a progeny figure, like a son or a daughter, who wants to be a father figure to him. Maybe a player character sees another character as oppressed somehow and wants to make it right for whatever reason. Maybe a player character is hired by an NPC to complete the mission and cannot do it without the help of certain player characters. Whatever you do is fine, but it's got to be something that the players are willing to indulge. In Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, I've always found that a particularly heinous and dastardly villain will spur good player characters to take action. Excuse me. Lately, many players want to run evil player characters, and that can easily throw a wrench into that plan. It's difficult to get evil player characters to do good deeds. I usually limit the alignments of player characters to no evils and no chaotic neutrals. This eliminates that aspect of the situation. Many players will balk at this, and that's their prerogative. If players insist on running evil or chaotic neutral player characters, it does make your job a lot harder. There will be friction in the group. Even if all the player characters are evil, there will be friction. However, if a player character starts as evil and wants to work through a redemption arc, that can be awesome. Provided the rest of the group doesn't kill him outright and gives the player character that opportunity, it can be really great. A particularly evil villain may sour evil player character, may spur evil player characters to work together, but it would be limited and it will not last beyond that villain's defeat. It's just a lot easier to disallow evil and chaotic neutral alignments. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but the most successful campaign I had that rule and it worked out well. Once you get the player characters together into a group, the rest is easy, just running the game. That first few weeks of game setup is the key. If you pull that off with all of the players enjoying and playing their characters and on board with the general plot line of your game, then you're pretty much good to go. The rest of it falls into place. Once you get the players interested in playing in the game, running those characters in that game, yeah, you're good to go. That's the key right there. Getting them interested in that particular setup and situation. After that, it's all gravy. Again, I'm not trying to tell people how to run their games. I'm trying to give advice from somebody who's been doing it a long time. Feel free to use, abuse, change, or modify, or whatever, anything I say, or ignore it even. Remember, the key is that everybody has fun. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all.